You know that feeling when you're waiting for their text? Your stomach tightens, your heart starts racing, you check your phone again and again, you can't focus on anything else, and somewhere inside you think, oh, this must mean that I really care. Well, as someone who studies temperament and attachment for a living, let me tell you something that just might change your life. That is not love. What that is your nervous system under distress. We've been sold this incorrect belief and idea that love should feel electric, intense, like a roller coaster. But when your relationship feels like extreme highs and crushing lows, your brain isn't bonding. It's actually bracing for impact. Your body is releasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. And the spike of relief that you feel when they finally text back, that is not secure attachment. That's actually your nervous system coming down from a threat response. And if you grew up in emotional unpredictability, then your brain might have learned to call that chemistry. I'm Dr. Denim Slade, and I help you cut through all of the garbage online with information that is backed in science that you can actually trust. And in this video, I'm going to show you why your core wiring may be mistaking anxiety for connection. And I'm going to give you 3 simple body-based reality checks that you can literally use on your next date to know whether or not this is real connection or just a familiar trauma loop. And let me tell you a really important secret that most people don't understand. Your brain does not prioritize safety. It prioritizes familiarity. If you grew up walking on eggshells, if love felt inconsistent, if attention was unpredictable, then your nervous system learned how to adapt to that, how to live within that. It wired itself around that emotional climate. And in my core personality language, your primary temperament shapes what motivates you. The way that your brain learned to survive in your environment shapes what feels normal to you. So if chaos was normal when you were growing up, calm can feel really boring. If your brain is wired for comfort and connection, but you were raised in unpredictability, you may find yourself chasing somebody who is unpredictable. Or you might think that you have to suppress your needs in order to obtain and maintain the closeness and connection that you so crave. And if you're wired for positive emotion, if you're fueled by wanting to have fun and an enjoyable environment, then you might find yourself bailing from situations where normal ups and downs are going on. And if you're somebody who's driven by accomplishment and getting things done, if you're driven by resolution, you might mistake the chase and convincing somebody to love you as accomplishment. And if your brain is wired to do things the right way, if you're wired to improve upon things, then you might stay in the loop of trying to fix what feels off, or you might find yourself filtering out viable options with whom you really could create a healthy relationship because it's not perfect. 4 different core temperament types, the same trap. Familiar does not mean healthy. Let's talk about intermittent reinforcement for a second. When somebody pulls away, your brain appropriately experiences threat. Cortisol rises and you feel anxious, preoccupied, you feel activated. Then they come back, they text, they validate you, they show affection. Your brain responds by releasing dopamine. You feel relief, you feel reward. That cycle, pull away and return, pursue, withdraw, is one of the most powerful conditioning loops in behavioral psychology. It's the same exact mechanism that makes gambling addictive. You're not bonding when this is the process. You're getting neurologically hooked to the situation. And before I give you the 3 tests to break this cycle, you need to hear this super clearly. You are not broken. Your wiring just adapted to survive in an earlier environment that you're no longer in. The goal cannot be to shame your wiring. The goal has to be to update it, to rewire it. So here's reality check number 1 to use on your next date. I call this the exhale test. When you're with them, what does your body do? Are your shoulders tight? Is your jaw clenched? Breathing shallow? Or do you feel your body soften? Real connection helps to regulate your nervous system. Anxiety-based attraction actually dysregulates you. So if you consistently feel like you're holding your breath around someone, that is not chemistry. That's your body, that's your nervous system on hypervigilance. Love feels like an exhale, not like a performance, and not like you're bracing for impact. Reality check number 2. I call this the consistency audit. Do their words and actions line up over time? Secure attachment is built on predictability. If you're constantly analyzing mixed signals, your nervous system will stay activated, especially if you're what I call a C in my core temperament model. C's need emotional safety. And if you're somebody who needs emotional safety, that comes largely through predictability and knowing what to expect. So if you're living in this environment where there are a lot of mixed signals, it's going to be really dysregulating if you're a C. These mixed signals are also really confusing if you're what I call an E. E stands for exactness and excellence. And E's want things to make logical sense, and they want to know what they're going to reliably get. And so if that's your temperament type, then living in this kind of mixed signal world is really dysregulating. In fact, anxiety thrives in the gap between what someone says and what they do. Love closes that gap. Reality check number 3. I call this the mirror test. Who do you become around them? Are you the anxious version of yourself? Over-texting, over-explaining, over-performing? If your temperament is what I call an R in my core temperament theory of personality, R stands for resolution, and R's are motivated on getting things done, checking things off, moving things forward. So if you're an R in this mirror test that I'm talking about, you might find yourself trying to force the clarity so that you can feel resolved about where things stand. If you're the C in this mirror test, you might find yourself silencing your needs in order to keep the peace. And if you're an O, O stands for optimism. And O's are the most social of all of the temperament types, and they're the most people-oriented. So if you're an O in the mirror test, you might find yourself over-functioning socially in order to try to stay liked or to be chosen. And if you're the E, you might find yourself over-analyzing every single interaction, shoulding yourself about what you should have said, and preparing for how to do it the next time. Or, in contrast to all those unhealthy variations that we just talked about, are you the grounded version of you, the version aligned with your core identity? Healthy relationships do not require you to abandon your wiring. They allow you to bring your natural strengths without self-betrayal. For the next week, I want you to stop chasing butterflies. If you feel that intense spike of anxiety and excitement, don't automatically treat that as a green light. Pause. Run the exhale test. Run the consistency audit. Look in the core mirror. Real love is not a roller coaster. Real love is predictable. It's emotionally safe. It's steady enough for your nervous system to relax and to rest. And when you understand your core temperament, you're able to stop trying to change who you are in order to feel chosen. You start choosing what and who aligns with who you actually are. If this hit close to home and you realize that you might be addicted to the roller coaster, take the free core assessment at whatsmycore.com to find out your wiring so that you can finally understand why you do the things that you do and why you don't do some of the things that you don't do. Also, check out some of our other videos. We have plenty of videos on attachment and temperament designed to help you walk through your wiring, because healthy relationships do not start with finding the right person. They start with understanding who you are at your core. Thank you so much for watching.